Good afternoon, Mrs. Lena.
Hello, Rango. How are you?
I'm good and thank you very much for joining me today in our little discussion. And
You're welcome.
can you tell me about yourself first to introduce your background, for example?
My background. Okay. Right now, I'm teaching at an institution that prepares Indonesian students to study overseas.
Mm,
And so I prepare the students by teaching them about the SAT.
mm,
The SAT is a test mainly required by US universities, but there are also other universities in different countries that require the SAT. So I teach mainly the reading and writing part of the SAT.
reading
So
and
that's
writing.
my background right now.
Okay.
But I have also a lot of experience in teaching English, as well as being a lecturer in at university, teaching English literature, as well as preparing students for TOEFL and then the IELTS, yeah, and as well as teaching general English, and that happens actually in language centers. So I've taught in, I guess, two or three well-known language centers in Bandung.
Mm.
So that's my experience.
Okay. Talking about English for Indonesian people, maybe it is not easy or maybe difficult. So, can you tell me about your experience that you have since you are a child until now? So, how can you learn English until you really like and enjoy it, and you want to share your English skill or experience with other people?
Mm-hmm. Sure. I actually didn't discover English until grade 7. So in grade 7, I started learning English in
Sorry,
school.
did you study in a national school or private school or bilingual school? Maybe can you tell a little bit?
In a in a private school. When I was in school, there were no bilingual schools. There were only international schools,
Okay.
and of course, at that time, if you're not a foreigner or half a foreigner, then you weren't allowed to study in an international school. And like I said, when I was little, there were no bilingual schools. So I went
So,
to a private school.
sorry.
So
So you live in Bandung from you were a child until now, or you have been around Indonesia before?
no, actually, I was born in Bandung, and then when I when I was in grade 2, second grade, I moved to Semarang
Mm.
and lived there for about 5 years. And then I moved back to Bandung when I was in grade 7. So
Okay.
that's when I actually started learning English
So
in
you
school.
can continue your story now. After that.
Okay, sure. So grade 7, started learning English, and I think that was when I discovered that I liked foreign languages. So I thought English was fun.
Mm.
But then, of course, at school, you only got the theory about grammar and things like that, and so not much practice like
Mm.
reading or even listening or even speaking. Okay, so it was mainly grammar. I did get good grades for English,
Mm.
um, and so I thought, okay, so I like this, and I think I'm pretty good at it. That's my thought. So I thought, okay, this is cool. But then something happened, probably around grade 8,
Mm.
that changed the way I perceived English.
Mm.
Okay, so it happens when, okay, this will probably tell people how old I am, but when I was in grade 8, on TV, there was only TVRI,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
channel
I
only.
remember.
Yep. I don't know whether you remember that. maybe you're not that young anymore, then don't go if
Only
you do remember
one
that.
television, right?
Okay. One television channel, and my family, well, my siblings and I like to watch Little House on the Prairie
Yeah, that's I like.
on TVRI.
Mm.
And yes, so at that time there was an episode that one of the characters, a boy called Albert, he actually had a girlfriend, and then his girlfriend actually died. But when she was dying, she actually asked Albert to kiss her, and then there was no subtitle, of course, at that time. Because
Yeah, yeah.
what happened was usually there was like summary every about 1 minute after it happened, then there was a summary. Okay, no subtitle. So and of course it was a summary, so it didn't tell you the details. But then the next day or the next week in school, my friends and I were talking about that episode, and then one of my friends said, isn't that funny that she actually said, kiss me, Albert, before she died? And I thought, I didn't hear that. How did she hear that? How was she able to know what they were saying? And so I was actually annoyed. I was a bit upset with myself because I didn't hear what the characters were saying on TV.
So because you want to know something more about it, right?
Yeah. So I thought, okay, that means my English is not good enough. So I thought, okay, I need to do something. And so after that, actually, you know what I did? I actually, every time I watch TV, any American series, okay, I would turn the volume up really high, so I could hear everything, every single thing that they said. And that's kind of slowly how I understood English. Like, that was when the listening part began, okay, not just the grammar part. Okay, but also grade 7, I was already back in Bandung, and my school actually had a very good library. I did start reading, even though it wasn't. You might probably think that this was one because I didn't start reading normal books, novels like abridged or simplified novels, but I actually started reading Peanuts comics.
What is that?
Snoopy and Friends.
Oh,
Snoopy,
Peanuts,
Charlie
remember.
Brown. Yeah. I don't know
character,
why.
right?
Yeah. So I don't know why, but my school at that time actually had almost complete collection of Peanuts.
Wow.
And so I started reading them, and I thought, slowly I was starting to understand bits and pieces. I mean, I didn't understand most of the humor, of course, because that is, I guess, there's something different. You have to understand humor. Well, you do understand humor if
the background.
Yes, it's very cultural. Yes, but I began to understand little by little what the characters were saying, and that's how I grew, how my English grew. And actually by grade 10, I was actually able to speak English. Probably not high level English, but I was conversational
But you
English.
speak confidently, right? When at that time.
Yes, I think so. Because I think I was learning mainly from TV, and so I thought, oh yeah. Now and because when I started in grade 8, turning up the volume every time I saw a TV series, okay, slowly I was able to pick up what they were saying. I was able to understand what they were saying, and so okay, that's how you say it, and then that's the right pronunciation, etc. And so I was thinking, okay, I could do it. And like usually when in my school there were like exchange students from the US and things like that, and I was able to actually have a conversation with them. Probably not deep and meaningful things, but very conversational stuff.
Can you tell your school maybe, or is it just a private information for you?
Um, I guess I can. So I went to Saint Angela in
Saint
Bandung.
Angela,
Yes.
Catholic school.
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah. So yes, they had a good library, and then also, so I guess in a sense, it's like the the English I got from school, and also the English I got out of the classrooms. They it actually completed each other.
Mm.
Okay. So I got the grammar from school, and then I got the listening part and speaking part from TV, from books,
Any
as well as
different
from.
ways you do it, yeah, just to make your English improve, right?
Mhm, yeah, but you do have to actually, I guess, do all the four skills. The four skills are listening and then speaking, reading
Yeah.
and writing.
Okay.
Okay, four of them you have to actually practice them.
Mm.
So in this way, of course, the listening I got from the TV, and then the speaking. Also, I got from TV because I learned actually the how to say things and then the right pronunciation, etc. And then the reading I got from reading,
Mm.
even though it's peanuts. Okay, but the writing, I guess, not much writing practice, but some in school.
Mm. Did your teacher ask you to do writing at
A
that
little bit,
age or at that class?
just a little bit paragraphs.
Okay, sentence maybe
Yeah,
that, and then.
well, paragraphs, and that's about it. I think because you couldn't really do much in a school setting because of the different levels of English that the students have.
Mm.
So it was mainly paragraphs. So at that time, yeah.
Okay, and then how do you use the time when you have exchange students to make your English more improve, more challenging maybe for yourself?
Uh, Talk with them, ask them questions about their countries, their hometowns. Yeah, so mainly that. Yeah.
Okay, last time you told me that we can learn from BBC, from another radio station, for example. So how did you get that idea, or it's just your
Oh,
conclusion after a long time you study English?
uh, well, when I was in high school, there was no internet, of course, and so
Mm.
I didn't actually get to listen to the BBC or anything like that. So it was mainly the TV. Thank you, TVRI, because there was no subtitle. I was actually
Yeah.
forced to understand what the people were saying. Okay.
Mm.
Um, I think, yeah, listening is actually important. Um, I mean, I guess if you watch a movie, like a TV series, then you can actually learn how to use a language in
Mm.
daily life.
Mm.
Okay, but then if you listen to the BBC, for example, you can actually learn a little bit more because the English is more advanced. So I think it's very good to actually, yeah, listen to those. I didn't actually start listening to BBC or CNN until I don't know, a few years ago. I think cable TV. When did it start in
Mm.
Indonesia? I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah, so cable TV first, and then the internet, or is it the other way around? Maybe both at the same time, around the same time. Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you something about phenomena that happened recently? Did you know Rich Brian?
Sorry, who?
Rich Brian, Indonesian rapper that become worldwide. Okay.
No.
Compared to your experience, that he was also a kind of self learner from YouTube channel, and then try to understand the American culture with the lyrics in the rap song, for example. So, what do you think about the comparison between educated learner and self-learner here in learning English?
That's a good question. I don't know Rich Bryant, and so I don't know what his English is like. Um, I think you need both.
Okay.
You do need to know the lingo, the slang sometimes to understand, especially if you young people these days,
Yeah.
people don't actually speak formal English,
Mm.
okay, on YouTube and etc. But also you do need the educated academic English like the BBC or CNN,
Okay.
okay, so that you can actually learn something more from academic sources. Okay, so because, for example, if you read a book, okay, nonfiction, that would be informal English, academic English. Okay, so if you want to learn from that, then you do need to know academic English. So, but yeah, I think both are as important. So, self learners like Rich Brian, probably I'd say he learns a lot about conversational or informal English from YouTube. Yeah. But then at the same time, um, if you're, I guess, if you're learning the formal English only, you don't actually know much about the culture,
Yes, yes, okay.
the language, the everyday language of the people. Yeah.
Okay. And then now, let's talk about your journey when you think that teaching English is your kind of comfort zone, maybe, or your enjoyable area. So, how do you get that, or when do you start it?
Ah, well, and I didn't actually want to be a teacher when I was in high school and university.
Okay.
I didn't want to. I know I was when I was studying at university here in Bandung. My lecturer said, "Do you want to teach here? Do you want to teach here?" Even the admin people said, "You should teach here." So
Okay.
I said, "No, no, 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 no. I don't want to be a teacher again."
Mm.
So, but then right after university, I actually went overseas. I actually joined a drama company,
Mm.
and because after university, uh, most people, well, most English majors graduates, they would become a secretary or work in a textile company, etc. And I'm thinking, I don't want to be to be working in an office. Yeah,
That's the same.
no, yeah. So I thought, okay, I'll join this drama group, and I did. So it was an eye opener, I suppose, because I went to Australia and then I got to learn the culture, the people,
Mm.
and of course I had to memorize scripts in English.
Oh,
So in that way, my English level had to go up.
yes.
Because I had to speak it every day and I had to memorize lines in English. And after about 3 months, I actually started dreaming in English. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So, yes.
So, wait. Someone said that if you start dreaming in another language, it means you already live with it, right? Do you agree with that? Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Yep.
and what happened after that?
Because I like drama, I actually found that I enjoyed performing on stage. And then, so after that, when I came back to Bandung, I thought, I still don't want to work in an office. So I think I'll be a teacher. I think I actually want to be a teacher because in the drama company, sometimes we would conduct drama workshops.
Oh,
And so I got to teach a little bit about drama.
mm,
And then when I came back to Bandung, I thought, okay, I can teach. I'd like to teach. Okay, it's much better than working in an office,
yeah.
sitting down all the time. So that's how I started. So I started in English language centers, small ones, and then and then I started teaching at the university, and so some of my lecturers said, "Oh, so you want to be a teacher now?" So they were a bit surprised because they were offering me, telling me to do it, but then I refused. But then all of a sudden, I volunteered. Hi, I want to be a teacher here.
You still want
So
to refuse
they
that
were,
fact, right?
yep. So they were surprised, but they were quite
Uh,
excited about it.
okay.
So
And then talking about accent, you said that you lived in Australia in the past. What is the important thing of having an accent actually in learning English?
accent, I don't think. Okay, let's see. Accent is actually secondary. Primary thing, the most important thing is pronunciation.
Okay.
Pronunciation is important because English pronunciation is different from Indonesian pronunciation. Typically, for example, the stresses
Yeah.
in English words. Okay, if you don't have the right stress, then some people may not understand you when you speak English. Okay, with accent is actually, like I said, secondary because different countries, different areas have different accents, and so it is. Accent is something that you get used to after staying in a place for a while. Okay, so sometimes it is difficult because you're not used to it. So, for example, if you're more used to American accent, like watching TV, like Little House on the Prairie, okay, so you might be more familiar with American accent, but then again, even in the U.S., there are actually different accents again. So New York accent, for example, Southern accent, etc. Okay, but yeah, it's something actually that you get used to after living in a place for a while. It does help you understand people, of course, if you can get used to an accent. Okay, so like for example, when I first went to Australia, the Australian accent is not the clearest, let's just say, because the Australians say that, oh, we actually don't open our mouths when we speak because there's so many flies in Australia, so that's why we do. Hey, good evening, yeah, whatever. So there's that one, and then also I met some New Zealanders as well in Australia. They have a different accent again, and so it's like at some stage, like, okay, 6 months into the company, the drama group, I thought, okay, I think I understood everyone now. But then there's this New Zealander with his thick accent. I was thinking, I don't understand what he's saying at all. So
If you just memorize the script, maybe you understand your part, right? But when you try to respond, the New Zealanders, maybe it's become more difficult. That's what you mean?
I didn't understand him
Oh, really?
because of his accent. His accent, the Kiwi accent, is actually different from the Aussie accent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So accent is more important in understanding people, okay, especially in areas where there are people speaking with thick accents, like Australia, New Zealand, Scotland, also in the U.S. as well, the southern part. So it's more about that, okay. And the thing is, you don't actually. That's how do you say it? You don't pick up an accent naturally. Okay. I actually happen to be one of those few people who can pick up accents. I don't know, maybe if you're a good listener, maybe you can actually pick up an accent. Maybe because Australia was the first English-speaking country I went to. So when I went there, after a while, I actually picked up the accent because I was surrounded by Australians.
Yeah.
Okay? And then when I actually visited my university, when I was still in the with the drama group, my lecturer said, "You speak very Australian now." So it's I didn't realize it at that time,
Yeah.
but because I was surrounded
Naturally,
by
yeah.
the people. Yes, okay, but not everyone can do that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a thing. So that's
But
why I said it's secondary.
maybe the question is many Indonesian people, or the students or young people, try to imitate the accent, but it doesn't work well. So, what do you think about that kind of phenomenon? Maybe?
Of course, it doesn't work well because you're trying to pick it up. Okay, let me tell you that I did have to learn American accent when I went to when I went to the U.S. because my accent was too Australian.
Mm.
And so when I don't know, there's this thing about Americans; they actually love people with a funny accent. And so when when I was
What do you mean
performing
by funny here?
non-American accent,
Non-American, okay.
yes. And so when I went there, I had an Australian accent, and they were so delighted with my accent. And instead of listening to the message of the plays that I was performing, they were just talking about my accent. And so I thought, that's not good. Okay, I want them to pay attention to the play, to the messages of the play. Okay, so I thought, okay, I need to change my accent. Okay, I don't know about. I actually have never heard anyone trying to copy an accent, but okay, there are actually so many things in an accent. Okay, the first thing I did when I had to change my accent was study the vowels, the vowel sounds. They are actually the most important. Okay, that's one. Yes, the vowel sounds, because Australian vowel sounds, American vowel sounds are different. So if you get the vowel sounds, then you are you have a solid foundation, basically. Okay, and then there's also the rhythm and the tone, etc. Okay, and then there's also the consonant sounds. Okay, so consonant sounds not as important as the vowel sounds, though. Okay, so check the vowel sounds and then the
Pronunciation?
the consonant sounds. Okay, because the thing is, Indonesian pronunciation and English pronunciation, they're very different. Okay, but if you get the basic pronunciation, like okay, for example, English consonant sounds are stronger than Indonesian consonant sounds, then you get that. And then the vowel sounds, okay, English vowel sounds, long vowel sound and short vowel sounds. Indonesian vowel sounds are in the middle. So you got those basics, then you can actually start changing your accent. Okay, those are the basics. Okay, so probably what people are trying to do is just superficial. Yeah, because it kind of sounds like that. So maybe just copy the rhythm only. Maybe just copy the tone, but not actually the basics, like the phonemes, phonemics, the vowel sounds and consonant sounds.
Okay.
So,
Because you said before about Indonesian, there is a bigger question about accent actually. Should we build our own Indonesian accent compared to other countries, because they have their own also. For example, when we talk about Indian people or Pakistanis people, Australian, etc. So, because when I watched one of YouTube channels, there was someone who said that why don't Indonesian people make their own accent? Actually, I don't know about. Do you agree about that, or is it necessary for us?
accents are not something that you make up. Accents are something that comes naturally. Okay, accents actually, especially if your first language is not English, then the way you speak English will be influenced by your first language.
Yes, that's right.
And whether you know it or not, actually, Indonesians, when they speak English, they already have an accent. I can
really?
tell you that. Oh, yes. So whenever someone speaks English, okay, if I can't see the face, okay, I can see the skin color and everything.
You can
I can
recognize the
usually
person, yeah.
tell. Yes, I can usually. Okay, this sounds Indonesian. Yes, because they do have an accent already. You don't
Uh,
make them up.
yeah, because the fact is we have so many languages in the country, right? So
Hmm.
maybe Japanese, for example, like me, I use my own English accent, or the way I speak is different from another Indonesian people. So it's not too important for you.
Pronunciation is the important one. So as long as you can be understood, okay, who cares about your accent?
Yeah, I agree with you. Someone said that for speaking, as long as it is understood, it's enough. For
Hmm.
writing, as long as the grammar, so that's the point.
Hmm.
So what do you think about the core skills actually? What should we emphasize on? For example, you can describe about listening. What should we emphasize on? Writing, reading, and speaking. So
All of
maybe you
them.
have, yeah. Maybe
All
you
of
have
them are
your
important.
maybe you have your philosophy of teaching or learning English. Learning English, yeah.